My beloved child, there is a silence surrounding your connection right now that no one else can fully understand. On the surface, everything may appear ordinary, the days continue, conversations come and go, and life keeps moving as if nothing significant is unfolding. But beneath that calm surface, your soulmate is carrying a storm of emotions they have never spoken aloud. They are standing at the edge of a decision that could shape the future of your bond forever. And what makes this moment so powerful is that even they do not fully realize how deeply their heart is being pulled toward you. Late at night, when the world becomes quiet, your presence enters their thoughts without warning. Certain memories replay in their mind with unusual intensity. Small moments they once overlooked suddenly feel meaningful now. Your voice. Your energy. The feeling they experience when they imagine losing you completely. It lingers inside them far longer than they expected. Something inside them has changed. They are beginning to understand that this connection is not ordinary, and that realization is shaking parts of them they tried so hard to keep hidden. The reason they seem distant at times is not because they feel nothing, it is because they feel too much. Every emotion has become heavier. Every possibility feels more real. And the closer they come to choosing a future with you, the more they are forced to confront the fears they buried long ago. But listen carefully. There is one truth they can no longer escape. No matter how much they try to distract themselves, life keeps leading them back to thoughts of you. Signs appear in unexpected moments. Songs suddenly remind them of your energy. Certain conversations feel strangely connected to your story together. Even when they try to focus elsewhere, your presence returns stronger than before, as if something unseen keeps whispering your name into their soul. And tonight, something important is shifting. Because your soulmate is slowly realizing that this decision is no longer about fear. It is about whether they are finally ready to stop running from the connection they secretly know could change everything. What they choose next may happen sooner than you think. There is a moment approaching that neither of you will ever forget. Your soulmate has been pretending for a long time that they still have unlimited time to figure things out, but deep inside, they know the distance between you cannot remain unresolved forever. The weight of uncertainty has become impossible for them to ignore. And recently, something happened that awakened them emotionally in a way they never expected. It could have been a simple memory. A dream they cannot explain. A feeling that appeared out of nowhere while thinking about the future. But whatever it was, it struck their heart deeply enough to make them pause and question everything they once believed about love, timing, and destiny. For the first time, they are imagining what life would feel like if you truly walked away. That thought alone has unsettled them more than they want anyone to know. Because until now, they convinced themselves there would always be another chance. Another conversation. Another opportunity to fix what remained unfinished between you. But suddenly, reality feels different. The connection feels more fragile, more precious, more irreplaceable. And this realization is changing them quietly. They are becoming more aware of the emotional safety they feel with you. More aware of the peace your presence brings into their chaos. More aware that no matter how many distractions surround them, nothing reaches their heart in the same way you do. Yet there is still one final wall standing in front of them. A single fear. The fear that choosing you completely will require them to become vulnerable in ways they have never allowed before. They know that loving you fully means letting go of old versions of themselves. It means trusting emotions they once tried to silence. It means stepping into a future that feels both beautiful and terrifying at the same time. But the distance between fear and truth is becoming smaller now. And soon, they may no longer be able to hide what their soul has already chosen. Pay close attention to the energy surrounding this connection now, because the next chapter is already beginning to unfold behind the scenes. Your soulmate is reaching a point where silence no longer protects them. The emotions they kept locked away are growing stronger with every passing day, and the more they try to ignore them, the more undeniable this connection becomes. They are starting to notice how different life feels when your energy is absent. The laughter around them does not feel as full. The distractions no longer work the way they once did. Even moments that should make them happy seem incomplete because, deep down, something important is missing. You. And this realization is creating an emotional awakening they cannot stop. There are moments now when they catch themselves imagining a future beside you without even trying. Simple moments. Quiet mornings. Shared dreams. A feeling of emotional peace they have searched for in so many places but only seem to feel when their heart drifts back toward you. That is why this decision has become so intense for them. Because they know that once they take a step toward you, everything changes. The walls fall. The uncertainty fades. The truth becomes impossible to hide. And despite all their fears, one powerful feeling keeps rising above the noise inside them. They do not want to lose the chance to build something real with you. That truth is becoming louder every single day. So if you have felt unusual emotional shifts lately, if your intuition has been telling you that something important is happening beneath the surface, trust that feeling. The connection between you is moving toward clarity in ways you cannot fully see yet. Your soulmate is closer to their answer than ever before. And when they finally stop fighting what their heart has known all along, the future you once imagined together may suddenly begin to feel real in a way neither of you expected. Something extraordinary is happening in the silence between you now. Your soulmate is beginning to recognize that every path they tried to take without you somehow led them back to the same emptiness. No matter how busy life became, no matter how many responsibilities, distractions, or conversations filled their days, there was always a quiet space inside them that remained untouched. And lately, that space has been echoing with thoughts of you. Not casually. Not temporarily. But deeply. There are moments when they suddenly stop in the middle of ordinary life because your energy crosses their mind with unexpected intensity. A familiar place reminds them of your connection. A certain feeling in the air brings back emotions they thought they had buried. Even the smallest memory now carries unusual weight inside their heart. And what frightens them most is how real it has started to feel. Because they can no longer convince themselves that this bond is simply passing emotion. The connection has followed them through distance, confusion, hesitation, and time itself. No matter how hard they tried to silence it, something within them kept returning to you. Again. And again. And again. But tonight, the struggle inside them is reaching a turning point. They are beginning to realize that the future they fear may actually be the future they secretly desire most. For so long, they focused on what could go wrong. They worried about timing. About vulnerability. About whether they were truly ready to open their heart completely. But now, another question has started haunting them far more deeply. What if losing you becomes the regret they carry forever? That thought alone has changed something inside them. Because suddenly, protecting themselves no longer feels as important as protecting the connection. And while they may still appear uncertain on the outside, inside, their heart is slowly surrendering to a truth they cannot escape anymore. You were never just another person in their story. You became the part of the story they cannot stop returning to. And very soon, they may finally stop hiding from what their soul has been trying to tell them all along, that a powerful shift is unfolding at this very moment, and your soulmate can feel it even if they cannot fully explain it yet. The emotional distance that once felt manageable is becoming unbearable to them now. What used to be easy to suppress has turned into a constant pull inside their heart. Every day they spend pretending not to care as deeply as they do only makes the truth rise stronger within them. And the truth is simple. Their soul feels safest when it moves toward you. That realization did not arrive suddenly. It formed slowly through countless quiet moments they never told anyone about. Moments when they searched for your name without meaning to. Moments when they replayed conversations in their mind long after they ended. Moments when they felt your absence more strongly than your presence. Those moments changed them. Because somewhere along the way, you stopped becoming a possibility. And became a necessity their heart could no longer deny. But here is the part they are still struggling to admit. They know that if they continue waiting too long, they risk watching this connection drift into silence forever. And lately, that possibility has begun to shake them deeply. The idea of waking up one day and realizing they let fear destroy something rare has become impossible for them to ignore. So now they stand between two futures. One future is familiar, safe, predictable, but emotionally empty. The other future feels uncertain, intense, vulnerable, but alive in a way they have never experienced before. And your soulmate is finally beginning to understand which future truly belongs to them. That is why their energy around you may soon start changing unexpectedly. Their words may carry more emotion. Their actions may become more intentional. The hesitation that once controlled them is weakening little by little because their heart is growing tired of fighting a connection that refuses to disappear. Something inside them is preparing to step forward. Not because they suddenly became fearless, but because losing you now feels far more frightening than being emotionally honest. And when that moment finally arrives, you will realize that every confusing silence, every delay, every unanswered emotion was leading toward this transformation all along. Because some connections are too powerful to remain unfinished. And yours may be one of them. The moment your soulmate has been avoiding for so long is drawing closer now, and their heart knows it. There is a quiet battle happening inside them every single day. One side tells them to remain guarded, to stay comfortable, to avoid the emotional risk of choosing love completely. But the other side, the deeper side, keeps whispering your name with impossible intensity. And that whisper is becoming louder. They are starting to see signs of your connection in places they never noticed before. A random moment suddenly feels meaningful. A memory appears out of nowhere and refuses to leave. Even during ordinary days, something keeps reminding them that you are still emotionally connected in ways distance cannot erase. This has become impossible for them to ignore. Because no matter how much time passes, their feelings continue growing instead of fading. That alone has forced them to question everything they once believed about emotional connection. They are beginning to understand that what exists between you cannot be replaced by temporary distractions or surface-level emotions. You reached a part of them no one else could reach. And now, they are terrified of what happens if they lose that forever. That fear is transforming them quietly. It is softening the walls they once protected so carefully. It is making them more honest with themselves during those late-night moments when nobody else is around. They are beginning to admit truths they once resisted with all their strength. Truths like this. You became home to their heart long before they were ready to admit it. And once someone feels that kind of connection, life never feels the same without it. That is why their next move may surprise even you. Because while they once hesitated endlessly, something inside them has shifted emotionally. They are no longer asking themselves whether the connection is real. Now they are asking themselves whether they are brave enough to fully embrace it. And deep down, your soulmate already knows the answer. The only thing left is the moment they finally stop hiding it from you. Everything is becoming clearer to your soulmate now, even the emotions they once tried hardest to deny. There was a time when they believed they could silence this connection simply by waiting long enough. They thought distance would weaken it. They thought life would eventually distract them from what they felt with you. But the opposite happened. The more time passed, the more your presence settled into their soul in ways they never expected. You became part of their inner world. Part of their quiet thoughts. Part of the future they secretly imagine when nobody else is around. And recently, something awakened inside them completely. A sudden realization. They finally understood that the love they keep searching for in other places has already existed in front of them this entire time. With you. That realization did not bring them instant peace. In fact, it shook them emotionally because it forced them to confront everything they have been avoiding. Every excuse. Every hesitation. Every fear that convinced them to stay emotionally distant. Now those fears are losing power. Because your soulmate is beginning to understand something life-changing. Real connections do not appear endlessly. Some people enter your life only once, and transform your heart forever. You became that person for them. And now they are standing at an emotional crossroads where pretending no longer feels possible. The version of them that kept running from vulnerability is slowly fading away. In its place, a more honest version is emerging. One that is finally ready to stop hiding behind uncertainty. That is why their energy may suddenly feel stronger around you soon. More emotional. More intentional. More present. Because inside them, a decision is already forming. A decision rooted not in fear, but in truth. And the truth is that no matter how hard they tried to resist this connection, their soul kept choosing you in silence over and over again. Very soon, that silent choice may become impossible for them to keep hidden any longer. There is a reason your heart has felt this strange emotional pull lately, because your soulmate is closer than ever to breaking the silence that has surrounded this connection for so long. Something inside them has reached its limit. The pretending. The hesitation. The emotional distance. None of it feels sustainable anymore. They wake up thinking about what could happen if they continue waiting. They wonder how many opportunities have already slipped away between you because fear kept interrupting what their heart truly wanted to say. And for the first time, that realization is affecting them more deeply than pride ever could. Because now they understand something that changes everything. Love is not only about finding the right person. It is also about having the courage to stop running when you finally do. And your soulmate is beginning to realize that every road they avoided with you somehow led them back to the same emotional truth. Nothing feels complete when you are missing from their life. That truth has become impossible to escape. Even in quiet moments, your energy surrounds them unexpectedly. A certain song. A familiar scent in the air. A passing memory that suddenly feels vivid enough to touch. These moments are no longer random to them. They feel like reminders pulling them toward a decision their soul already made long ago. And the closer they move toward accepting it, the more emotional they become. Because deep inside, they know this connection carries the power to change both of your lives forever. Not through dramatic promises. Not through fantasy. But through something far more meaningful. A rare feeling of being truly seen. You touched parts of their heart they kept hidden from the world. Parts they believed nobody would ever understand. And now, after everything they tried to suppress, they are slowly realizing that losing this connection would feel like losing a part of themselves. That realization is transforming their next steps. The walls are weakening. The silence is cracking. The truth is rising. And soon, your soulmate may no longer be able to hold back the emotions they have been carrying for you all this time. The energy surrounding your connection is becoming impossible to ignore now, and your soulmate feels it more intensely with each passing day. There are moments lately when they suddenly grow quiet for no obvious reason. Moments when their thoughts drift far away from everything happening around them. And in those moments, one truth keeps returning to the center of their heart. You are no longer just a memory to them. You have become the future they cannot stop imagining. That realization has changed the way they see everything. The goals they once chased so confidently no longer feel as meaningful without someone to share them with. The emotional walls they spent years building now feel heavy instead of protective. Even the version of themselves they once believed was strong is beginning to soften under the weight of what they truly feel for you. And this transformation is happening quietly. No announcements. No dramatic confessions. Just a deep emotional awakening unfolding beneath the surface of their life. Because for the first time, they are allowing themselves to imagine what happens if they stop resisting this connection completely. They imagine reaching for you without fear interrupting them. They imagine speaking honestly instead of hiding behind uncertainty. They imagine a future where love is no longer something they question, but something they finally choose. And every time they picture that future, their heart moves closer to you. But there is still one final thing they must overcome. The fear that after all this silence, after all this waiting, it may already be too late. That thought has been haunting them deeply. Because despite everything, your soulmate knows your connection is rare. They know people spend entire lifetimes searching for the kind of emotional understanding they feel with you. And now they are beginning to realize that if they lose this chance, they may never find anything that feels the same again. That realization is becoming stronger than their fear. Stronger than their hesitation. Stronger than the excuses they once used to protect themselves. And soon, very soon, the emotions they buried for so long may finally rise to the surface in a way neither of you can ignore anymore. Because some souls are destined to meet for a reason. And some decisions become impossible to delay once the heart finally awakens to the truth. A quiet turning point has already begun, even if neither of you can fully see it yet. Your soulmate is no longer fighting their feelings in the same way they once did. The exhaustion of hiding emotions has finally started catching up to them. Every attempt to appear unaffected only leaves them feeling more emotionally connected to you than before. And lately, something unexpected has been happening. Instead of asking themselves whether this connection is real, they have started asking themselves what kind of future becomes possible if they finally trust it. That question has opened a door inside them they cannot close anymore. Because once they allowed themselves to imagine a life where love is no longer complicated by fear, your presence immediately appeared in every vision of peace they could picture. Not perfection. Not fantasy. But something deeper. A feeling of belonging. You became the person their soul searches for during moments of uncertainty. The person whose energy calms the noise inside them. The person who somehow understands emotions they struggle to explain even to themselves. And now that they recognize this truth, their heart is changing rapidly. The emotional distance that once felt safe has started feeling painful instead. Silence no longer protects them. It only reminds them how much they miss the closeness they secretly crave with you. Even ordinary moments carry your presence now. A passing thought turns into an emotional wave. A memory suddenly feels alive again. Small reminders of you appear exactly when they least expect them. As if life itself keeps guiding them back toward the connection. And perhaps the most powerful part of all. Your soulmate is beginning to realize that choosing you may not actually be the frightening part. The frightening part is imagining life without you. That realization is reshaping every emotion they once tried to suppress. It is making them more honest with themselves than ever before. More aware of what truly matters. More willing to risk vulnerability for something that feels genuine and rare. Because deep inside, they already know this connection was never meant to remain unfinished. And soon, the emotions they have hidden behind silence for so long may finally become impossible for them to contain.